What if I told you that an 800-year-old poem could completely change how you see love today? It sounds kind of wild, but you'd be surprised. We're about to dive into this short, brilliant poem that's hiding an incredibly powerful message right in plain sight.
Just take a second and look at this image. A really still room, right? But it's pierced by these incredible beams of sunlight. And suddenly, you can see all these little dust motes dancing in the air, things you'd normally never notice. You know, it's in moments exactly like this, when everything gets quiet, that some of the biggest truths can show up.
All right, so our guide on this journey is a 12th century Korean poet named Gyu-bo. He saw this very scene, and in this flash of inspiration, he wrote a poem that sets the stage for something amazing. We're going to break down the first two lines, character by character, to see what he saw.
Okay, here is the very first line. In Korean, we'd say this as Jeok-sa pongeman. Now, I know if you're an English speaker, this might just look like a string of complex characters, but think of each one as a key to a puzzle. So let's start unlocking it. The very first key is jing, pronounced jing. This isn't just quiet, like no noise. It's a deep, powerful serenity. It's the kind of quiet that you can almost feel in the air around you. This one character, right at the start, sets the entire mood for the poem.
Next up, we have who, or ho. This character tells us we're looking at a simple, single-panel door. So we're not in some grand hall or a palace. We're in a personal, intimate space, a room made for quiet thought. And now, a little bit of movement enters the picture. This character is fu, pronounced pung. It means wind, but not some big, howling gale, just a gentle, subtle breeze. So when we put those pieces together, Jeok-sa pongeman creates this stunning image. In the quiet door, the wind opens the curtain. You can just picture it, can't you? A silent room, a soft breeze. The poet has just painted a perfect picture of total peace.
Now for the second line, Myeongchong Irlongjen. This one adds this gorgeous layer of light to our quiet scene. Let's break this one down too.
First we have myeong, which is pronounced myeong. It just means bright or clear. So right away, the poet is telling us to look towards the light.
And where is that brightness coming from? Well, that's our next character. Mi, or il. It means the sun, or sunlight. So now we've got these brilliant sunbeams pouring into this quiet room.
Okay, this next character is my absolute favorite. It's nung, pronounced long. It means to play. How cool is that? The sunlight isn't just shining on the dust. The poet is telling us that it's playing with it. He gives the light this sense of life, of a playful, gentle energy.
And there you have it, the full second line. In the bright window, the sunlight plays with the dust. So in just two short lines, the poet has put us into this perfect state of mindfulness. It's like our own minds are cleared of all the usual noise, and we're ready to see things in a totally new way.
So the stage is perfectly set, right? The room is peaceful. The light itself feels alive. And now, into this scene, Gyu-bo brings in two actors. They're not people, but believe me, they are carrying the entire secret of this poem. Our first actor shows up in this third line, Oko Jehayoja. It talks about a crow on the roof, crying like a filial son. Wait, a crow? As a symbol of devotion? This is our first huge clue that there's something much, much deeper going on here. So, the main figure here is the crow. A bird we often think of as a bad omen, right? But here, the poet is connecting it to one of the most respected human virtues.
And that virtue is kyo, pronounced hyo. It means filial piety. This is a massive concept in East Asian culture. It's about that deep, sacred love and sense of duty that a child has for their parents. It's really seen as the foundation of a moral life.
All right, let's bring on our second actor with the final line of the poem, Tyom Myeonmuga in. This line brings in a swallow, and just like the crow, it's described in this really fascinating human-like way. Yun, the swallow, a bird that's famous for its super elegant, acrobatic flight, and that movement is absolutely key here.
The poet says the swallow dances like a gayan, which means a beautiful person. So you get this incredible image of a swallow darting around under the eaves of the roof, moving with all the grace of a beautiful dancer.
So, let's recap. We have a quiet room, a dutiful crow, and a graceful swallow. It's a beautiful scene, for sure.
But it's not just a scene. It's a profound philosophical statement. And now we're going to uncover the hidden heart of this poem.
Okay, so this is the absolute crucial question. Why these two specific birds? And why are they described in these very specific ways? Why would you put a symbol of sacred duty right next to a symbol of captivating beauty? Well, it's no accident. This is the soul of the entire poem.
And this is where the genius of the poet just shines. The crow represents filial piety because of a famous idiom, banpoji hyo, which is based on the belief that adult crows actually bring food back to their old, helpless parents. But the swallow is even more clever. The character for swallow, yen or yun, is the exact same character for the ancient state of Yun. And guess what the state of Yun was famous for in classic literature? It was famous for its beautiful people, its ga-in. So the swallow becomes this incredibly elegant, subtle symbol for romantic love, or yen-mo.
Just look at this comparison side by side. On one hand, you have filial piety, this sacred, pure duty, represented by the solemn cry of the crow. And on the other, you have romantic love, this beautiful, human attraction, represented by the swallow's graceful dance. The poet doesn't say one is better than the other. He presents them as equals.
So what's the big takeaway? What's the life wisdom that Lee Gyu-bo is trying to send us, all the way from his sunlit room 800 years ago? Well, it's actually a pretty radical idea about the nature of love itself.
By putting the sacred love you have for a parent right next to the beautiful love you have for a partner, the poet is really pushing back against the ideas of his time, and maybe even some of our own.
What he's arguing is that romantic love, that feeling symbolized by the beautiful, dancing swallow, should never, ever be written off as something silly or temporary or just physical.
He's elevating it. He is saying that true, deep romantic love is every bit as pure, every bit as noble, and just as fundamental to our spirit as that sacred bond of filial piety. It's not some distraction from a good life. It's a beautiful, essential part of it.
And so, from just watching dust dance in a sunbeam, this poet found a whole universe of meaning. He unlocked a powerful truth about love. And he kind of leaves us with this question, doesn't he? If you just stop and look closely enough, where, in the quiet moments of your own life, are the deepest truths just waiting for you to find them?